Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. And why do I have like the movie poster for The Batman up on the screen? Well, part of the reason is I just watched it earlier tonight with Rach. You know, had our sit at the TV dinner and watch the Batman. And as I watched the Batman, and this is not really going to be a review of the movie. I think personally it was pretty good. As a Batman movie, it was again pretty good. But I think it shows something uh, for adventure design in a way, because it gives you a story. And again, this isn't a review. I'm trying to avoid any spoilers for people, but it gives you a story in multiple parts. Events happen, and these events are probably going to happen whether or not Batman is successful at stopping the first part. That would be a success, right? But maybe he doesn't stop it. Maybe in this case, there's a multi-part adventure, and your party can succeed or fail at each of those individual parts and still get to the end. But it's going to be a lot less fulfilling. It's going to be, maybe the rewards are less, um, but it still moves on, and maybe they're successful. But stopping part one doesn't mean that part two doesn't happen. Maybe it gives them an advantage. Maybe it gives them a few extra clues. Now, the clues in Batman are not clues that the average person's going to be sitting back and going, "Oh, I could have figured that shit out." But when you're doing these things for a game adventure, whether it's for your party, your home group, or whether it's to be, I don't know, in a zine or published in an actual module, um, don't be too clever with your riddles. Because trust me, what you think is simple, other highly intelligent players are never going to catch because maybe it isn't in their wheelhouse. Maybe it's simple to you because of your personal experiences. So if you're going to build riddles in, and remember in Batman, and you can see it on the screen, the Riddler is the main adversary in this. Now, could he have been caught earlier, and could this story still have continued? It could have. There's nothing that I hate more in adventure where you have an opportunity to get the big bad guy because they come onto the scene, and then the way the adventure is written, well, they're on the scene, but you can't get them. If you don't want your main adversary, your big bad evil guy or gal, BBEG, to be at risk from engagement with the party, don't let them engage with the party. You don't want to have to do a DM fiat. So, oh, well, really, no, that was a simulacrum. That was a clone. That was a doppelganger. That was no. You can't do that. Now, it's nothing to can say that maybe they got the big bad evil guy who really wasn't the big bad evil guy. In the Batman, we see that some of the players, when I say players, I'm not talking about players in our gaming sense, but the personalities involved, some look like they should be good, and they aren't. And when you look at some of the big bad evil guys, where they are in the hierarchy isn't always clear. And I think that can be very important when you are designing an adventure or even running a campaign. Let your party think that they're dealing with the big bad evil honcho before they find out that there's somebody behind the curtain who was really pulling the strings. Which leads me to, and again, you can watch this movie. I personally watched it and I thought, oh, maybe we're getting to a conclusion. Oh, wait, no, there's a whole other issues now that have to be addressed. Just because your party thinks they've reached the climax of your adventure series, of your adventure of the module that you put together or you're running, doesn't mean that that actually has to be the actual end. Right? You can throw in some extras like, all right, well, yeah, you recovered the axe of the dwarven lords, and that was your mission goal. Okay, and you got it. And as you are leaving, now XYZ comes into play. So you've reached your goal. The party thinks that it's the end, and you know what? We still got a little bit more to go. And don't overuse that one. That's when you can really piss off players if that's what happens every time, because they'll never believe anything that you put in front of them. Oh, kill this shit. And next thing you know, Tiamat's going to be in the next room. Don't overuse it. Like spice, a little bit goes a long, long way. Um, Now, things that I think that, in the case, again, not dealing with the plot of the movie, I think it was filmed. I understand it's atmospheric. It's Batman. You want it to be dark, but prior Batman movies have been dark and still had contrast, so you were able to make out what was going on. This was a lot of darkness where you couldn't necessarily make out every scene that was going on. Um, Again, I understand it's part of the atmosphere. It's part of the theme of Batman. I just think that it could have. I wasn't going to tweak my TV set. I watched this on HBO Max. I was going to tweak my TV to make it work. At least work better. So, those are some random thoughts. Keep them coming back for more, and just because they're achieving their goals or not achieving their goals doesn't mean that the storyline has to come to an end. It just means that it plays out slightly differently in between. And also, it should never mean that your players' actions have nothing to do. If they're successful, they should get items or they should get knowledge that makes their chance to be more successful or greater chance of success in the next part. And their failure should leave them at a disadvantage. That's just my general thoughts on it. I'd like to hear your thoughts, how you run uh, your multi-part adventures. Are there arcs within? Are there separate subplots that move sequentially, or are they, all moving at the same time? All of which can be good. Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to discuss. Folks, we are still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. What does that mean? It means use your fucking common sense. All right. I am not going to preach to you. I am not going to browbeat you. Use your common sense. All right. You're an adult. I leave it in your hands. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. And God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow, Monday. Fun day, Monday. All right.